All right, Wrexham fans, if you love the Red Dragons like I do, smash that subscribe button right now, because what's happening at the racecourse, nobody saw this coming. Let's talk about where Wrexham AFC are right now. 10th in the Championship. 2 points off the playoffs, 4 consecutive home wins, 4 straight clean sheets, 7 league matches without defeat. These aren't just statistics. This is Wrexham rewriting their own story in real time. But here's what makes Tuesday night's 2-0 victory over Bristol City even more remarkable. It's not just about the results, it's about how Phil Parkinson is handling this moment. Whilst the racecourse faithful are dreaming of Wembley playoff finals, the gaffer stood in front of the cameras and said 5 words that tell you everything about why this team keeps winning. We are not getting carried away. This isn't just another feel-good chapter in the Hollywood fairy tale. This is Wrexham establishing themselves as genuine contenders in the Championship, the level most people said would be a bridge too far. And the man steering the ship, he's refusing to let anyone get ahead of themselves. But to understand why Parkinson's approach is so crucial right now, we need to look at how Wrexham got to this extraordinary position. Cast your mind back to the start of this season. Wrexham had just won back-to-back promotions. National League champions in 2023, League Two champions in 2024. The rise had been meteoric, the attention unprecedented. Welcome to Wrexham had turned a working-class Welsh club into a global phenomenon. And suddenly, the Red Dragons were facing Championship football. But the Championship is brutal. It's a graveyard for romantic stories. Teams with parachute payments, massive stadiums, and decades of second-tier experience. Wrexham were the new boys, the Hollywood curiosity, the club everyone expected to struggle. Survival would be success, most pundits said. Consolidation was the realistic target. Phil Parkinson knew different. He'd been here before. Promotion from League Two with Bradford, experience throughout the football pyramid. He understood that momentum is a powerful thing, but he also knew that the Championship would test every single player in his squad. The early weeks of the season were exactly that, a test. Results were mixed. The quality of opposition was a step up. Teams didn't fear Wrexham. They saw them as scalps, the famous club everyone wanted to beat. The racecourse was still rocking, but there were moments of doubt creeping in. Could this squad really compete at this level? Behind the scenes, Parkinson was working, adapting tactics, rotating personnel, finding the right shape for different opponents. He wasn't panicking when results didn't come immediately. He was building something sustainable, something that could last the grueling 46-game Championship marathon. And then, quietly, something started to shift. The lads began to understand what Parkinson wanted. The intensity increased, the defensive organisation tightened. Nathan Broadhead was finding his rhythm. The team was clicking. Nobody noticed at first, but 4 home wins in a row, 7 unbeaten, 4 consecutive clean sheets. That's not luck. That's a team that's figured something out. Tuesday night at the racecourse, Bristol City, a proper Championship side with quality throughout their squad. The kind of match that 6 months ago people would have marked down as a potential banana skin for Wrexham. First half, the atmosphere is electric. That unique racecourse intensity that's been there through non-league struggles and is now powering Championship battles. And then Nathan Broadhead does what special players do, a stunning strike. The net bulges, the ground erupts, Wrexham 1-0 up. But here's where it gets interesting. Because anyone can score a brilliant goal, the question is, can you protect it? Can you show the maturity and discipline to see out a victory against a side desperate to equalise? Wrexham could. The defence was organised, compact, disciplined. Bristol City pushed, probed, created half chances, but the back line held firm. This wasn't desperate defending, this was controlled, confident game management. 16 minutes from time, the killer blow. George Thomason whips in an in-swinging corner. It strikes the post, rebounds off goalkeeper Radek Vitek, own goal, 2-0. Game over. 4 home wins, 4 clean sheets, 7 unbeaten, 10th in the championship, 2 points off the playoffs. And in the post-match press conference, Phil Parkinson delivered the most important message of the night. We are not going to get carried away. I'd rather be where we are than any lower, but I still like to be higher. That's the mindset. That's why this run is sustainable.
The Wrexham faithful absolutely buzzing. Social media exploded with talk of playoffs, of Wembley, of the impossible becoming possible. Wrexham supporters have lived through decades of heartbreak. Now they're watching their club compete at a level most never thought they'd see. But Parkinson's response was calculated, deliberate. He praised the performance, acknowledged the atmosphere, but immediately shifted focus. We'll be ready to put in a good performance at the weekend, and we will see whether that is good enough. Saturday, Blackburn Rovers at home. Another opportunity, another test. The media is starting to take notice. BBC Wales are highlighting the defensive record. The leader is documenting every moment of this incredible run. National outlets are asking the question, could Wrexham actually make the playoffs in their first championship season? Inside the dressing room, the mood is confident but focused. The players know what they've achieved, but they also know Parkinson won't tolerate complacency. He's already doing his homework on Blackburn, already planning the next performance, already ensuring nobody loses sight of the process. Here's the reality. Wrexham are 2 points off the championship playoffs in their first season at this level, after 3 years in non-league, with a Hollywood ownership story that was supposed to be just a romantic documentary series. This isn't supposed to happen, but it is happening. The consequences are massive. If Wrexham maintain this form, if they keep winning at home, keep that defensive solidity, they're genuinely in the conversation for a top 6 finish. That would mean Premier League playoff football. That would mean Wembley. That would mean 1 match away from the promised land. But Parkinson knows the championship is unforgiving. One bad run can derail everything. That's why his feet-on-the-ground approach is so vital. He's protecting his players from the hype, from the pressure, from the expectation. Compare this to other newly promoted sides who've flown too close to the sun. Teams that started brilliantly, believed their own hype, and fell away dramatically. Parkinson has seen it all before. He's ensuring Wrexham don't make those mistakes. What happens next? Blackburn at home on Saturday, then another match, then another. 46 games in the championship. It's relentless. But if Wrexham can maintain this intensity, this defensive discipline, this belief, anything is possible. From the National League to the Championship playoff hunt in 3 years, it sounds absurd. It shouldn't be possible. But this is Wrexham AFC, the club that's been rewriting its own story since Ryan Reynolds and Rob McElhenney walked through the door. Phil Parkinson isn't getting carried away, and neither should we. But let's be honest, the dream is alive. The racecourse is rocking, the Red Dragons are soaring, and for a working-class Welsh town that's seen it all, this might just be the greatest chapter yet. Let me know in the comments, are Wrexham genuine playoff contenders, or is this run too good to last? Hit that like button if you're backing the boys, no matter what, and I'll see you in the next one. Come on, you Reds!